Yo neighbors, Punky Locks Reviews here, coming to you with a special review of the G.I. Joe Classified Crystal Ball. No, but in all honesty, big thank you to my cohort, one of these Circle of Jerks, Baldy Locks Reviews, who was able to hook me up because my Walmart's like the only Walmart in all of Michigan, and I have 100 of them that seem to not be getting Crystal Ball. So big thank you to Zen. And I also got a big shout out because not only will be reviewing him and comparing him to, well, that's my O-ring, Johnny Reno, Cages Customs, sent me one also with the shield, because I no longer have the shield, and I can guarantee you that this Crystal Ball is in better shape than this one. Actually, that was not in bad shape because I hardly ever played with them because I hated the figure. But anyway, if you are wondering, my name is Lawrence. I'm a punk with toys, and today we're looking at this figure right here. Again, but we're going to get into them. Walmart exclusive. Many people have had it canceled, yet at the same time, not only are people finding them in Walmart, people are finding them on clearance while they are canceling. God, Walmart, you are a cluster. Anyway, we're going to take a look at this guy, look at everything that he does come with, his weapons. I believe there's a lot of new tooling on this. On the side, we can see number 159. There he is with his magical mask on, whatever it is, hallucinogen. There's his file card, whatever you want to say. There you go is the QR code, G.I. Joe. And on the bottom, there is your barcode if you want to go into Walmart and ask them if they have any. And there we go, right on the back, we can see Crystal Ball and everything else that's going on in the background. But anyway, you know what? I messed around. I fooled around with you guys a little bit too long. Let's get into this figure. Let's compare him to the O-ring. See how closely he is and see how different he also may be. But before we do, if you like this type of stuff, you like when a punk with toys gives you G.I. Joe Classified reviews, then please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a G.I. Joe Classified review. Alright, so he's out of his plastic prison, and first I quickly want to show you, because I'm sure there's going to be people that don't realize it. When you take him out of the package, his shield and the cover for the shield are snipped, or are put in here, so you got to snip them out. Again, if you're an inbox collector or you keep the box like I do, just be careful when you cut it, but it is not in the plastic crinkling, okay? All right, so a lot of new stuff. I can only imagine what they're going to use to redo this, put stuff out. I know they're doing the Ghost Viper, which is going to be very similar to it, but quickly, he does come with one extra hand. All right, it's only going to be, I think, pretty much for maybe the shield or holding this piece, different things like that. But looking at it here, it's kind of like a clawed look. So I'm assuming it can also be used as a weapon. It kind of gives you that that Freddy Krueger vibe to it. Little bit of paint right there, and it should articulate up and down here. So then we have this new pistol. All right, which is some sort of six shot, some sort of revolver. You can see it looks like a tentacle running down the grip. You got your trigger right there, trigger guard, and then you have this little serpent. I believe that's supposed to be wrapped around it. He is in some ways connected to Cobra La, I believe. I don't know that much about the lore. Again, I review action figures, not the lore of the figures. There are other people that review that. But he does have a port for blast effects. It is pretty straight. I don't know what they're going to be able to reuse this on, especially with this little coil over it. So you got that. Here we have his sword. And you can see it kind of has like this hallucinogen looking coming out. Hallucinogen kind of flames coming off of it. Again, you got a nice grip here. It looks like it's it almost looks like it's a Cobra symbol there, but that is not a Cobra symbol. All right, so it's got the guard. Now this is a perfect spot to mention all of this stuff should have been done glow in the dark. It is not. This would have been a perfect figure, especially with all these accessories, to be glow in the dark. But whatever it is, I'm assuming whenever you're on the hallucinogens, kind of imagine this guy, maybe you're not a huge G.I. Joe fan, imagine this guy is like the Scarecrow of their universe. Then you have this little piece here. All right. And again, it's all tentacles on the bottom. All right. You can see the little suction cups right there, I believe. And then it's going to kind of wrap around here. And then it has a little skull inside of it. You can clearly see the guy kind of screaming. It also looks like it's wrapping around through him. Now this is very, very soft, okay? So whatever was done around this is kind of just like a little sponge right there. All right, but it's completely wrapping around, and the fact that we can see the skull right there. This guy's gonna go perfect with Dr. Mindbender, especially if you have the special edition one, the deluxe version. So. And then we have the mask. And this is one thing that I think people really were like, this thing is really awesome. So quickly, it is in this translucent green. He's got these big ram horns kind of going through here. There's no issues with this being connected. I know there was one guy that decided to do a review and he talked about all these QC issues. He's the only person that I've seen any QC issues. So I would just say, never going to tell you who to or not to listen to, but I'll say just be careful on who you're listening to. You may not want to follow that guy and see what he has to say. But anyway, you kind of have these technicals just kind of coming off. It reminds me of the bad guy from Pirates of the Caribbean. All right. You got these just red eyes right there. You got the black around it. You got the nose, which is just completely gone because it's more like a skull here. And then right on the top here, another nice little piece. But when you look around it, all this little detail. Now, I have a feeling that we may see this in another form. I could see them doing this in a not translucent form, so you can see what the colors are supposed to look at. I've done the Operation Monster Force stuff, and when you see a translucent figure, it's really hard to tell all the details. Although I think this one does a pretty good job. So just kind of see all the tentacles. You can see the designs in it. All right, on the bottom here, look at that. You can see all the little suction cups. So this looks pretty awesome. And it's not a mask. All right, that's just going to plug directly into the head. Now, this does make it difficult, I'm guessing, if you have some of the older Joes and you want to put it on their heads, because they used a different ball joint right there for the heads. So that's going to be a little disappointing if you want to throw it. But I got a diver here that we're going to throw it on and see how it looks like he's maybe freaking him out. All right, so here we have our shield, and on the back here, a lot of detail, kind of like what you see in like an old movie or an old style movie. One of those wooden shields, nice detail all through it. You see these rivets that are holding it on. It's got the handle, and then it's got the nice piece that's going to go right around the forearm so it doesn't move around. This is the, I believe, lenticular. So as we move it, you can kind of see that thing going in and out of the skull, which is reminiscent of what is supposed to be in here. Now, I'll be honest, I'm only looking this through the camera. So, which I think I'm peeking over the camera right now. I think I can see it a little bit better through the camera. This is pretty much the exact same design. All right. And it is different than what we had here with this shield. And I have already heard some people complain and say, they should have given you the same shield too. Like, my God, man, some of you people are not going to be happy no matter what. But when you look at this, where the kind of, like, this is round, not round, but it just kind of has that little design right there. The shield actually kind of looks like it, all right? But it's a snake right there. There's a snake's head, and it goes completely around it, but it has that same look to it. And then same with on the inside here. So a lot of nice design to it, but maybe you want to put this on here, all right? And there you have that skull right there. It looks like it has two serpent heads right there going into the eyes. And looking at the top, it looks like that is an eye right there. Which I'm trying to think. It almost looked like it was similar to what we saw on the top of that sword there. But you can see the teeth. You can see the nose. You can see what looks like is a secondary eye right there, right in the forehead. But again, you can see all the stuff kind of just wrapping around it. Now these do clip in together. And a few people have said that once you clip this thing in, it's a little difficult to get it out. That's what she said. You might just need a little small flat head that you can just kind of pop in there. I can see why that would be a little difficult there, but I think just kind of maybe putting a little bit of pressure on here. Oh, maybe not. You have a small flat head, and again, most of us are adults. You should have a flat head. You can just kind of reach in there, butter knife, anything like that. Maybe some people aren't that good with tools. So, and I don't know if you can move it. Yeah, it'd probably be best to lock this into where you want it, and then turn it to where you need to be. But it's already there. We're not going to worry about that now. Now we're on to our figure here, and again, we have seen some of the worst G.I. Joe characters from a Real American Hero line turned into amazing, amazing figures. Raptor is one of them. Crystal Ball, he looks way better than anything that we had, but I'm still not sold that he is a figure of the year. But let's take a look at him. So quickly, you see those nice teeth there. He's got the nice thin mustache. Those teeth look like they need to brush a little bit. Full on vampire vibes right here. So if you are into Operation Monster Force, maybe this is something you want to pick up. Maybe you think this will go good with your Operation Monster Force. I don't see why it wouldn't. But you again got the football makeup right there. You got the eyes that have that that serpent looking eye right there. And as I'm looking at it, all I can think about is V for visitor. Got the nice eyebrows, the two-toned hair, and many of us that are going gray or going white know exactly what we're talking about, right? All right, so, and they did a pretty good job, I think. I'd have to watch some other reviews. I think it's supposed to be like this, and if it's not, it means that they messed up some of the paint. And I could see that also being an issue here because you got some black kind of bleeding through it. But the hair actually looks really good. A lot of detail within it. But I'm not sure about that paint. I'm going to have to check out a couple other ones. See if they have the same issue. And that's how it's supposed to be. All right, as we move down, we got this big fur trench coat. Sleeveless. Well, technically it's not a sleeveless trench coat. It is a short sleeve trench coat. So you got fur around here. You got some padding sitting right up here. And then just a couple little, a couple little buttons or, well, that's actually part of the, it looks like it's part of a belt that kind of goes up there. On the inside right here, all right, you got two different necklaces. I guess once we pop the head off. And people, I have heard people say, be careful when you pop the head off, because if you reach up underneath this and grab this, you're probably going to snap that thing right off. But it looks right here, he has some sort of a mystical crystal that looks to be a very similar color to this. And then you just have a medallion, which looks like, again, does that go back to, it's right there. So, whatever this is some sort of either his logo or some sort of magic that he's doing. All right. And then you have a nice chest tattoo right there showing that he is a hardcore MFer. And then you have his design on his, what I would assume is some sort of wife beater. Then he has the nice cuffs sitting right here. You can see just a little bit of detail. It's not supposed to be armored or anything. He has another tattoo of a compass, so he knows which way to go north and south and east. Actually, I'm not sure if that's it, but... And then we have his little gauntlets here, and once again, some sort of ruby crystal, just kind of plugged right into it. And then it looks like another like eye right there. But again, this guy I think would go good with Mythic Legions, your Mythic Legions, Operation Monster Force, stuff like that. On this arm, we have another tattoo, which looks like a sun and a moon with a skull, and looks like it's two different types of skulls right there. A different forearm here, or a different gauntlet on this side that goes right into this glove. So the whole glove is actually a gauntlet on here. Then he's rocking a, I'm assuming that the belt is supposed to be on an angle like that. I mean, I don't see how it wouldn't be. So this is on a nice slanted angle. You got your belt buckle, once again, with that same logo, the eye in the middle. All right, and then you have, well, this is actually pretty interesting. So you have the belt loops, which, again, if you watch my channel, you know I always talk about belt loops. I think it adds so much. But right here, they have the belt where it actually ends. And it looks like it's supposed to be on the outside. Or maybe it's supposed to be right up underneath it. I don't know. It looks like maybe there's a little overspray, but I like the detail in the actual design of it. All right. So you just got some nice blue pants right here. A couple little pockets and knee pads. There's his holster for his pistol, which once again, we have that same logo. I have a feeling we're going to see, other than just that Ghost Viper, that we're going to see a whole bunch of stuff like this. And then we got these big boots right here, going all the way to the top. All right, and no shoelaces, nothing like that. And then we do have the pegs right there. And if we look here, this is still made in China. So, looking at his overcoat, his trench coat, whatever you want to say. I talked about the padding up here. You can see the same design. Here, I love this type of stuff. It's a little bit of clasps right there with a little bit of paint. I love how they did the belt here. So it's looped up underneath here. It's actually holding on that pouch right there, but he doesn't have it connected. All right. And just a few little pouches. It goes all the way down and is torn at the bottom, which I think actually looks pretty damn nice. All right. So quickly, I got to figure out. We'll go over the articulation. So his head can not really look up. And it can look down that far side to side. He can tilt his head, which I think might work pretty well with this guy. All right. There is his T-pose, which this is actually very pliable. So allows it to move, it feels. You have your bicep swivel, double pinless joints. Actually, this figure is really, really smooth, to be honest. All right. He does have butterfly joints, although you're not going to really be able to use them too much. All right. He has the ab crunch, which I think works better on this figure anyway. He can go down that far. To go back, it might be a little bit difficult because he has this big trench coat. He can turn side to side. Jean-Claude Van Damme, which is really good. You hear that little pop? I love that. That's his thigh cut, double pinless knees, his boot cut right there, and then his ankle rocker. So everything looks pretty good on this. All right. As for the comparison of these two figures, oh, and drop down hips. You can see how far down they drop. So, as for the comparison of these two figures, so looking at the head, he has the same type of hair, and this is why I think it's supposed to be that way. They tried mixing it in on the original. They did this more gray than white, but the hair is the same, a receding hairline, not so far. They did give him the eyes, like the makeup around his eyes right there. Same style of eyebrows for the most part. And they gave him less of a mustache. He does have the grinning, but giving him the rotting out teeth, I think, actually works pretty well. Again, this guy here, the original O-ring, who does not have like a trench coat, but he has the fur right up here. The same logo on his chest. Same belt buckle, or very similar belt buckle. And again, you can see where the belt loops are right there. He has the same gauntlets, same sleeves right over here. Got the feathers. I think I mentioned that already. Now this side here, arms are completely different. Then we get down to the pants. They match them pretty well. Both have black boots. And once again, if you look here, there's his pistol right there. I'm sorry, his holster. He has a pistol. This does not look like a 6-shooter right there. Looks like a regular. All right. Now, as for arming this guy, let's take his head. Okay, his head pops off really easily. So be very careful with this. I can see why people had said you may just break it on accident. And we can pop that on there. Now you're going to get very little articulation on this head right here. So this is maybe being used to scare them, or maybe we can pop it on this guy and it's used to scare other Joes. All right, pop the hand off really easily. I'm going to throw this on here. And I'm assuming he should be able to carry this. Gonna be kind of, be careful. I can see how they can pop out. Same with like Cobra Commander's World Domination. But it's a completely different hand. As you can see, he's holding up nice and nicely there. I also got, it looks like he has knuckle dusters. Some sort of, I don't know, there's a brass, I don't think those are brass knuckles. I think those are supposed to be actual rings. So he might fit in with your Marvel Legends too, right? So anyway, there you go. It does hold on to it pretty well. And we can pop this off really quickly. I'm going to throw this bad boy on so he can have his shield. Oh, that hand is tight. Some of their hands have been getting much better. And what I mean by that, they're really loose. So you just pop that off. Slide that on so you can hold it nicely. Throw a sword right up in here. And now he can fight our guys over here. Snake Eyes and the Storm Shadow. Take his pistol. See how well it slots right in here. So his pistol slots in. Again, that actually looks pretty good. As for posing him, I guess it all depends on how you want to pose him. I can't imagine this guy is too menacing with this sword, even if he has someone hypnotized. Especially with ninjas and everything in the lineup. It doesn't seem like that's the... they'd be that scared. So he stands pretty easily. You kind of get him in like a nice little walking pose. People kind of lean forward when they're walking. So get a nice walking pose. Let's take this bad boy off. Throw the pistol in there because he does have trigger fingers. Twist that right there. Can we get him on 1 foot shooting? 1 foot, no problem. So the guy poses actually pretty well. There's no doubt about that. Just like most of the Joes. Again, I think they look pretty good. As for popping this off, take this off here. Let's just take the actual head off. And then you can throw this on him. All right, now maybe this works out. Maybe he kind of throws this down at one of the Cobra Troopers so they can look like this and scare the Joes before they go into a big fight, something like that. Who knows, considering I don't think you're going to be looking in a mirror if you're underwater. But there you go. This is actually a pretty nice figure. I'm not really sure how I want to display him. I think most people kind of have agreed that they want to use this head. Now it makes me want to have a second one. Maybe I can find one of those clearance ones before he's even shown up at my Walmart and get him for my Operation Monster Force. Because I think he might work really, really good with the Forgotten King. Matter of fact, I know he's going to work well with the Forgotten King. Anyway, let's wrap this up. All right, so there you go. That is my Crystal Ball Classified G.I. Joe review. Again, huge shout out to Baldy Reviews from Circle of Jerks, one of my my cohorts on the show, and a big, huge shout out to Johnny Reno, Cages Customs, for hooking me up with an O-ring version. You know what? I'll say it again. Make friends in the community. It comes in really handy, okay? You miss out on a figure, you miss out on an accessory, something like that. And if you have friends, they can hook you up. But remember this, it doesn't go one way. Make sure that if someone's hooking you up, you better be willing to ask them too, okay? Because people may do it every now and then, but if you're not willing to hook them up or hook others up, sometimes they don't even want you to. they just want to, you know what? Yeah, I'll check out for you. And then be like, hey, you know what? I'm good. Don't worry about it. That's my rant for right now. But anyway, there you go. Crystal Ball, Walmart exclusive. It is a complete, I'm going to say it, if you have kids, earmuffs, complete clusterfuck. Really, dude. Like, I don't really complain too much about Walmart because I've never had an issue. Baldy actually said, I feel like you're sitting on a throne of lies when I said that. But this was a complete debacle for me. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here. You've watched me long enough. You've seen my review. You've seen my comparison. Please, you're still here. Take a second. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a classified review. Now, I'm going to get out of here, but you're like, you've mesmerized me. You've used your crystal ball and your little shield here. I'm here. What do you want me to do, Master Punk? Well, right up here is going to be another classified review that I've done. And down here will be a playlist of all the classifieds that I've reviewed. Take care.